What if everything you thought you knew about building lasting habits was fundamentally flawed? For years, we've been told to set ambitious goals, to go big or go home. But what if the secret to transformation lies not in monumental leaps, but in barely perceptible steps? This isn't just a motivational platitude. It's a profound psychological truth, brought to light by a forgotten experiment that quietly revolutionized our understanding of behavior. Imagine a 2016 University of Toronto study, where participants were simply asked to perform a single, minuscule 60-second task daily, perhaps a brief stretch or writing just one sentence. The results? A staggering 85% developed lasting habits, a stark contrast to the mere 25% typically seen in studies focused on grand, overwhelming goals. This success isn't accidental. It's about what Dr. Wendy Wood describes as automaticity, how tiny, repeated actions subtly rewire the brain's default mode. Are you ready to discover how doing less can actually help you achieve more? We're often conditioned to believe that the bigger the goal, the greater the motivation, right? But what if this widespread belief is actually sabotaging your progress? This is the counterintuitive truth about habits. When it comes to personal growth, bigger is almost always worse. Think about it for a second. When you set a grand goal, like run a marathon, doesn't your brain sometimes feel overwhelmed even before you start? This is the goal paradox in action. Overthinking a huge, daunting objective triggers your brain's fear system, the amygdala, pushing you towards procrastination or avoidance. But here's the revelation. Tiny habits bypass this fear response entirely, instead engaging your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning and logical thought. A 2019 Harvard study underscored this beautifully, revealing that individuals who aimed for 1% improvement targets, like just 1 minute of daily exercise, outperformed those with 100% mastery goals by a remarkable 40% over 6 months. What if the small efforts you dismiss are actually your greatest allies? The power of micro-habits isn't confined to academic papers. It's a blueprint for real-world transformation. Let me share a few compelling stories. Consider the software engineer who began with merely 1 minute of meditation daily. Initially, it felt almost insignificant. Yet, after just 1 year of this consistent, tiny practice, he reported a stunning 70% reduction in anxiety levels. Or the CEO, who, drowning in meetings, adopted the micro-habit of 1 meeting less per week. This seemingly minor adjustment cascaded into a 25% increase in overall team productivity, and perhaps most powerfully, an individual in recovery who, instead of focusing solely on the daunting concept of abstinence, started with 1 minute of mindfulness each day. This small, consistent action became the bedrock of a sustainable framework for their journey. These aren't isolated incidents. They are testaments to how tiny actions can create monumental shifts. What if your biggest breakthroughs are hiding in your smallest efforts? By now, you're likely seeing the potential of micro-habits. But how do you actually start applying this to your own life? This isn't just theory. It's about immediate, tangible action. So, let's dive into some practical exercises you can implement today. First, try the 1-minute rule. Pick just one task you can genuinely complete in 60 seconds, maybe organizing a single drawer, sending that one thank you email you've been putting off, or drinking a glass of water. Commit to doing it every day for 7 days. You'll be amazed by the momentum it builds. Next, experiment with habit stacking. This clever technique involves pairing a new, tiny habit with an existing one. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will drink 1 glass of water. This leverages an established routine to effortlessly integrate a new one. Finally, start the 1% Better Journal. Each evening, simply write down one tiny thing you improved by 1% today. It could be, I smiled at 3 people, or I read 1 page of a book. This practice cultivates awareness and reinforces your progress. These simple steps are not about radical change. They're about igniting a quiet revolution within you. But the really interesting part is coming up, as we discover how this phenomenon echoes through even broader systems. Now, let us look at this from a completely different angle. The profound influence of micro-habits extends far beyond personal productivity, resonating through the very fabric of neuroscience, evolution, and even economics. From a neurological perspective, it's all about dopamine. Those small, consistent wins, successfully completing your 60-second task, for instance, trigger a release of dopamine, your brain's reward chemical. This isn't just fleeting pleasure. It's a powerful feedback loop, training your brain to crave consistency, much like the intermittent rewards of a slot machine. In the realm of economics, micro-habits align perfectly with nudging theory, pioneered by Nobel laureates Thaler and Sunstein. These are low-cost, high-impact behavioral interventions that gently steer individuals towards better choices without coercion. And ancestrally, our brains didn't evolve to strategize for decades into the future. They prioritized immediate survival. Micro-habits, with their instant feedback and minimal effort, perfectly align with this primal wiring, making them incredibly potent. Have you ever considered how deeply ingrained this small steps philosophy is in our very biology? Let's push deeper into the astonishing science that underpins the power of the tiny. Prepare for some truly mind-blowing revelations that will reshape how you view effort and consistency. Did you know that a 2021 MIT experiment found something incredible? Merely 10 seconds of daily gratitude journaling, not even a full sentence, reduced stress hormones by a remarkable 30% in just 3 weeks. Think about that. 10 seconds a day for such a significant physiological impact. This demonstrates that the duration of an action is often far less important than its consistency. And here's another paradox, the habit loop paradox. Micro-habits don't actually rely on willpower. We've been told willpower is finite, a muscle that fatigues. But micro-habits leverage automaticity, your brain's default mode, which, once established, requires virtually no conscious effort. It's like your brain running on autopilot, efficiently executing tasks without draining your mental reserves. This means you can achieve profound change without constantly battling internal resistance. But wait, there's more. We're about to uncover powerful metaphors that will make this concept unforgettable. To truly grasp the transformative potential of micro-habits, sometimes it helps to visualize them. These aren't just abstract psychological concepts, they're forces of nature mirrored in the world around us. Consider the snowball effect. A single snowflake, isolated and insignificant, means nothing on its own. But when countless snowflakes gather and begin to roll, that seemingly trivial start can culminate in an unstoppable avalanche. Your tiny daily efforts are those individual snowflakes, gathering momentum, silently building towards an inevitable, massive impact. Or think of the river stone. A river doesn't carve magnificent canyons in a single violent rush. It achieves its monumental work through tiny, constant erosion, drop by drop, year after year. Your brain carves new neural pathways and lasting habits in precisely the same patient, persistent way. And finally, the seed analogy. You don't plant a tree and expect it to grow into a forest overnight. You water it daily, consistently, patiently, and one day, that seemingly small effort yields a sprawling, vibrant ecosystem. These metaphors reveal why committing to just 1% better daily feels like unlocking a genuine superpower. It's about understanding the cumulative force of the inconsequential. You might have watched other videos about habits, but this one is fundamentally different. We're not here to offer cliché, just do it motivational platitudes. Instead, we've focused on the bedrock of science, compelling real-life stories, and truly actionable steps that empower you. You won't find vague self-help jargon here. Our emphasis is on neuroscience, psychology, and robust real-world data. We avoid "you should" guilt, instead presenting micro-habits as a powerful tool for your brain, a strategic advantage, not a moral imperative. Our unique angle ties micro-habits to unexpected fields like economics and evolution, illustrating how these small changes disrupt entire systems, from your personal growth trajectory to broader societal behaviors. You don't need to rewrite your entire life. You just need to rewrite one tiny part of it, consistently, persistently, and with profound understanding. What do you think about this approach to transformation? Share your thoughts and your own micro-habit experiments in the comments below.